How's it going? Today I'm currently scouting a new piece to me on public. Saw a few terrain features that I wanted to check out. What I like to do is say I found that certain little thing that I was looking for. Granted, I don't really have the feeling that I'm going to come out here and hunt a lot because I'm already seeing a ton of pressure from former hunters. I mean, just back there I walked over Tank 69 doe and heat spray, so I think it's a little pressured back here, right here where I'm standing. Looks like somebody cleared out a spot to sit against the base of that tree. There is a nice deer trail right here, or if the dude was turkey hunting this spring already, I'm not sure, but I don't know. I'll go check out those different terrain features further in. Maybe the hunting pressure will drop and nobody's back there, but I don't know. I doubt it. So, alright, gonna cover some miles and see what I find. Maybe there's some scrapes and rubs, kind of where I dropped waypoints, thinking that there might be, the way the terrain kind of situated itself. So, tall tale sign that you know somebody's out here hunting, even though it's illegal on public land to cut trees like this. Obviously somebody did. We got a little bowl down there. There's kind of a faint deer trail running up through here. Oh, I found another spot where he was knocking trees down. So maybe he was set up in one of these oaks here. But I don't know, we'll keep going back, see if we lose a few people. So what I came in here today to look at is some of these depressions in these hills. Kind of where you'll have higher ground, falls down in elevation, I don't know. Probably in this one, 20 feet. And then up here you got another tighter bowl. So in the evening, because we are on the east side of a north and south ridge, in the evening when the sun starts coming down, that cooler air is going to start sinking into these. What my theory was is that there's going to be some more mature bucks in here, because they have the advantage. They don't have to go up top and visibly see danger or hunters or whatever, because when you have that sinking air, it's like a toilet bowl. Everything's coming down to them. And especially if you don't have a stiff crosswind to kind of fight the thermal pull. I mean, if you got like a cooler, stiller night, if a deer's down in these depressions below that high ground, he's gonna smell you set up on that ridge or just outside that. I haven't found any real big buck rubs in here. There's one little guy up there, I don't know, on a tree the size of the diameter of my thumb maybe, but we'll see. Quick tip out there, I like to wear tan pants so I can periodically look down and see if there's any evil little ticks on me. They've become more of a problem in the last few years in Michigan. My kid even got bit by a tick and got Lyme. And ticks ain't nothing to joke about. So whether you're using permethrin or just kind of periodically looking down at your pants, make sure you ain't carrying them back home with you. Now I don't care if I'm hunting pressured public, pressured private, you name it. If you're looking to find like a good concentration of deer or a quality bedding area, you got to be looking at the stem count. Just outside of this, up on the higher elevations, it's open oak woods. I mean, you can see a couple 100 yards away. But now I got down on the east side of this ridge, and you can see the amount of briars. I mean, deers that want to use that, especially big bucks, like, this ain't the biggest rub in the world, but I would assume it was, I don't know, 2-year-old buck that made it. Sure it wasn't a spike. This kind of looks like it could be a bed. So just think, you're up on that ridge, you are not going to see this deer. It's got this heavy backdrop, and then he can look down the drainage by him. If he sees something come up, he can slip up and get up out of that way. Or if something comes down from the top to him, he can peel down through this draw, bust through that open woods and get out. So make sure you're looking for the higher stem count. There's a bed even in there. This is what I was talking about. You can see a long ways in that open woods. And then right here's the edge of this higher density draw, a lot of thorns. Just good nasty cover to hide them deer. Coming up to this next terrain feature that popped up to me on the map, and then I hit this. It's like a cleared out trail. Come closer to the base of this. Oh, what's that? Strap buckle. And you start looking at the bark and you see the rub marks. With that buckle being there, I assume he had climbing sticks. Sitting on this little ridge with some higher stem. Drops down in that bowl. Wonder if he saw much. And then I look at this. There's a bright eye. So evidently some people are still using those. I personally don't, because it just helps other hunters find your spots. But it looks like he came from this way because he's got his little access path cleared out. As I mentioned, this is a new to me public parcel. So before I even put boots on the ground, I'm doing like e-scouting at home or any time I got. I'm just looking at the map, looking in between combination of satellite image, topo, and this is one of the spots where I thought, hey, that might be a good spot for a tree stand. It's real low down in there, and as you can see, there's a taller ridge behind me. I marked right along the slope for a possible spot for a stand. There's a big trail coming down off the top right here, and then there's a trail coming off the top down here, and we're heading in that direction. So I got a spot where a bunch of different points and from different ridges kind of come together. I thought maybe that would be a good spot for a primary scrape. Let's see if we find one over there. I think I found a pretty nice spot. So you can see elevation drops. You go down in that bottom and that kind of continues to another low spot, and then it comes up. So you got this ridge coming at us, and then on that you can't see it as well anymore, but there's a low spot and that also heads that way. And then we got this ridge behind me. So I already had deer coming out here. And I look back here and there's a heck of a runway right here. So this would be quite the spot to be. You got bucks that could be cruising multiple different ridges, kind of meeting here in the middle. And you see what I see? That was a hammer of a rub. And better yet, there's another one up here. See that scrape? Check this thing out. Just shredded. Yeah, he tore up that smaller one. But you can see they were going after that bigger tree pretty good. Couple more busted off stuff over there. I'm sure there's a couple more big rubs right here on this little knob intersection point. And surprisingly, nothing's jumping out to me as far as hunter sign. You'd think out of all spots I've been so far that were halfway decent, and they had people in them, you think something like this would be just jumping out to everybody and their brother, hey, you gotta get on this spot, but I'm not seeing any cuttings. I'm actually seeing more bigger rubs over there. I'm not seeing anybody's trash. Probably be some wicked swirling winds with all these elevation changes and draws and stuff, but holy cow, what a spot to possibly have a pretty nice buck run by. So that hub, that was kind of, got deer coming off that ridge to the right, deer coming off that ridge that way, deer coming off this ridge, and then you kind of got a bunch of stuff coming together at the head of this massive ditch. And I had dropped possible scrape location because there's just so much stuff coming together. You got one, possible two, just a small one. 3, little guy, and then another good one. Like I mentioned, there's just way too much good stuff coming together as far as deer traveling on these ridges, and especially when it's time to go look for the does. It's got to be some good bucks around here. So I found that hot piece over there, and I just started doing big circles around it, trying to figure out where the deer are coming from, where they're heading, where they might be bedding. Once I got further away from that, it just turned into open blah woods. I think how they were getting in and out of there is either running ridge tops or the top third. There were a few like slight benches that really weren't showing up on the topo that I found some light trails and some smaller bucks leading up to that concentration of scrapes and rubs and stuff. But I also found quite a bit of spots where other hunters were trimming trees, and must have been a guy on one of those ridges sitting up there with a gun or something. He just had stuff cleared up left and right. Going into this, I was probably thinking that the chances of me finding something that wasn't unpressured and didn't have a bunch of hunter sign was low, but there were some things on the map as far as like the topo that I wanted to check out. And the way I look at it is go into a piece. I mean, if it's something that you've never been to, pick stuff out on it like you are going to go hunting it, and then get boots on the ground, go in there, see how the deer are relating to it, see if your theories were right. I mean, like I said, I'm probably not going to hunt this piece, but if I'm looking at different topos on pieces that I am hunting or I'm looking to hunt, where the chances are that, you know, I'm further away from larger population of humans and stuff, so chances are it'd be less hunters and so on and so forth. But go test those theories out on those terrain features. That way when you do encounter them later in a hunt or later in a scouting mission on a different piece, you can have that in the back of your head. Say, hey, I've seen this before. This is how the deer related to it previous. See if they're treating that same terrain feature or woods type the same, or maybe even slightly different. It's the biggest thing about public land hunting is it's a continuous learning curve. I mean, you're not gonna have the answer for every situation. You're just continuously learning, adapting, and trying to stay ahead of the game. If you like this content, if you could, give it a like, thumbs up, share it with a friend, subscribe to the channel, anything that helps. But until next time on the Reader Report.